Hey, are you trying to hack Taco Bell again? Hey, you do realize that the 2-year anniversary of the BTM86 YouTube channel is coming up in a few days, and we should probably do like a 2-year special. Maybe you should stop trying to hack Taco Bell and NASA and maybe help me out with this. Fine, I'll do it myself. Well, it's been 2 years. 2 years since what, you might ask? Well, 2 years since I first created this YouTube channel and uploaded my first video. I know for some of you that might be hard to believe, and for some of you that is probably easy to believe. For some of you probably just don't really care. And yeah, on June 19th, 2020, I created this YouTube channel and uploaded my very first video, which is a total cringe, and you should not watch it, because it sucks. I've been tempted to just like private it for a while, but I don't know, I want to leave it up just as a historical thing. Every year on June 19th, to celebrate another year of this channel's existence, I like to do these little specials and talk about things and stuff. One of the main things I want to talk about in this year's special is just kind of talk about my operation and a little bit about where and how I make my videos. So let's get right into it. Okay, so I figured I'd start the tour off with a place you probably recognize. This is sort of like my retro computer room. Well, it's not really my retro computer room. It's actually just sort of corner of a room. This room is used for other things, mainly storage. Mainly just like a storage room. And then I just got this little table set up in the corner where I film my retro computer stuff. I also come down here and this is where I just use it, even when I'm not filming. I just come down here and this is where I use my retro computers. As you can see, I got my Commodore 64 set up here. This is more or less a permanent fixture of this desk. I rarely put it away because it's my favorite computer of all time, and well, it's the best-selling computer of all time too. I mean, who doesn't like the Commodore 64? And I've got it hooked up to my Commodore 1702 monitor here. I've got some accessories. There's a total mess of cables back here. Yeah. I'm hoping to build like a custom monitor stand for this, where I can put my Commodore 1702 monitor on top of the stand, and I can sort of put my Commodore 64 partially under the stand, and then have like a little thing in the side where I can slide my disk drive in there. I don't know. Hope to build that one of these days. I will make a video about it when I do build it. So anyway, I got my monitor, disk drive, joystick. This is my usual Commodore 64 setup. And yeah, it just stays set up like this most of the time. I also have this GE TV over here. Yeah, I used to use this a lot more before I had the Commodore 1702. This was the main monitor I use with all my retro computers. I don't really use it much anymore. It only has RF input. Now I mainly just keep it around for my machines that only have RF outputs that I haven't RF modded, such as my Timex Sinclair 1000 and whatnot, and like my Tandy Color computer. So I still keep this around for RF systems. I also have these LED lights all around the table, although there's only one place in the back where you can really see them at the moment. And I have my little remote here, which I can use to control them. I usually leave them set to light blue, but I can use my handy remote and change the colors. I can make them flash and stuff. Like that. But usually I just set it to like a light blue color. But I'll sometimes set it to like green and stuff. Up above this desk I have a window. I like to film here during the day when there's lots of natural sunlight coming in the window. You can see a tree out there. And my neighbor's phone box. And yeah, I got lots of weeds we need to pull out there. But anyway, yeah, I like filming in an area where there's lots of like natural light coming in. I recently did upgrade the lighting in here, and really just installed a new light in the ceiling above me, because the lighting in here used to be pretty terrible, and it's not great now, but it's definitely gotten a lot better recently. And I've got that light here, and I've got like just this lamp. You can get it into the shot. Just like this pole lamp thing. that I have behind me, and I sort of aim it over my shoulders onto the subject when I'm recording. So next to my table here I have this random shelf where I have a lot of my stuff stored. My handy color computer, which I keep meaning to make more videos on. I've got some random keyboards. Up here I have some drawers, various different things. These ones just have cables and stuff in them. Got my Commodore VIC-20 cartridge collection in there. Got some cassette-based programs and whatnot. Got my VIC-20 itself up there. Got tape drive, the Timex Sinclair, Commodore dataset tape drive that I use for my Commodore machines. And that cable just fell. And up here I just got some books and stuff. And here's my Timex Sinclair 1000. And some boxed games and randomness. And some joystick. And yeah, and some vacuum tubes up here. Don't know what they're doing up there. But anyway, this is where I store a lot of my things. Okay, so here's the second place of importance when it comes to making my videos. This is what is often called my command center up here. And coincidentally, it is actually located directly above my little table downstairs. And yeah, this is like my main modern daily driver computer setup. And this is where I edit videos, record narrations and whatnot. Corner desk here, I use an IBM Model M keyboard every day. My really crappy mouse. It's just a really cheapo mouse that doesn't work right anymore. I don't know why I still use it. I've got dual monitors. They're not the same. This one's an LG. I bought it brand new right around the beginning of the pandemic. It's the good monitor. It's my main monitor. Then I've got this Dell monitor, which is I got for like $10 at a thrift store. It's only a DVI and VGA, whereas this one's HDMI. My graphics card is pretty old and it's actually still got DVI, so I can run a DVI monitor. You can get a DVI monitor really cheap. I paid $10 for that one. The LG is a lot nicer. I paid a few hundred for that. And having dual monitors is just absolutely the greatest thing in the world, really. I used to think it was kind of excess and like nobody needs that, but I decided to try it and I cannot imagine doing work with only a single monitor. I don't know how people do it, especially when you're doing stuff like video editing and research. So I can have stuff like my video project up on one monitor and then like something else up on the other monitor doing research or looking at notes, or just have other media, going through like different media files and seeing which ones I want to import into my project. It's just nice having dual monitors. My desk is typically pretty messy. Got a bunch of random junk on it always. Some random books, USB sticks, random piece of paper with notes on them, camera, pencils, yada yada. I don't have any kind of computer speakers hooked up. I just use these headphones. These are Sony LE-WH-700Ns. They're not super expensive, but they're pretty nice. I think they're only like $150. But for that money, they're actually really nice headphones. I like them a lot. They're wireless and you can use them wired. And I've got this microphone. This is what I use to record my narrations. It is a Cyber Acoustics Denali. It is a USB microphone. It also works as an external DAC. As you can see, I got my headphones plugged into it. And I'm using it as an external DAC. And it sounds pretty good. This is the beating heart of my quote-unquote command center. This is my main daily driver computer that I built a couple months ago, and I did a whole video on it if you're interested, if you want to learn more about it. But I'll give you a little bit of an overview here. Here's the insides. It's an AMD Ryzen 5 5600X, I believe. Got 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM, a really old GeForce GTX 760, a 500 gigabyte Samsung M2 NVMe SSD, and a 3 terabyte hard drive. So I have a lot of like programs and stuff installed on the SSD, but I use my 3 terabyte hard drive, as well as I have an external hard drive that I use for storing a lot of my videos and photos and stuff. And then I have a power supply. I don't even remember what size it was. I think it's a 600 watt. I've got this other random SSD that doesn't even work. I just put it in there to test it and I haven't taken it out yet. And yeah, it's not the absolute most whiz-bang powerful computer I could possibly build, but it's definitely what I call respectable. Pretty decently powerful computer, and it works great for what I use it for, and I'm pretty happy with it. And so here's the video editing program that I use. It's Wondershare Filmora. I don't like it very much, but I don't know. I used to like it, and I mainly got it because it was cheap. Premiere was expensive, and I didn't want to really learn Resolve, so I ended up going with this. And I kind of wish I learned Premiere from the beginning, but anyway. But I just got so used to this, and this is where all my presets and stuff are, so whatever, it's fine. It gets the job done. And here's what a typical project looks like. This is for my most recent video, the one I did on the Commodore VIC-20 Super Expander. My audio clips, or my narrations. Got my music down there, just the music levels here. As you can see, I heavily sort of condensed down my narrations. See, there's lots of tiny little clips put together that typically make a lot of pauses when I talk. Every couple words I always make a kind of an awkward pause, and then I usually cut that out and just make it sort of flow a bit better. See, and you don't really notice all those little cuts I make in the final edit. But sometimes there's different words from different takes too. I can do all kinds of different video manipulation things inside this program. Yeah, that looks so nice now. Wow. Or not. One thing that really surprised me is just how tedious and time-consuming editing can be. When I first started making videos, I thought editing would be this quick little thing I do at the end, and most of the time would just be recording the footage, but it's quite the opposite. I can record the footage pretty quickly, and then I spend a lot of time sitting here editing it all together and recording narrations. So most of my time that I spend making a video is just spent sitting here at my modern computer editing all the footage together and making it all flow. Okay, so that's enough of that. You may have noticed at the very beginning of this video that my intro is different, and that's because, well, obviously I made a new intro. What you see playing in the background is my old intro, but I made a new one since my old intro, I never really liked it that much. I think it was just too long, and it doesn't completely represent what I do, but mainly because it's just too long. And I've been meaning to make an updated intro for quite a while now, so in case you missed it at the very beginning, here it is. So anyway, there's my new intro. The big difference between my new intro and my old intro is my new intro doesn't really contain clips from previous videos. I used to really like that idea, but now I don't really anymore because then you always keep feeling like you have to update those clips every few videos you release. So this intro doesn't contain any clips from any previous videos, and hopefully it won't go out of date as quickly. I decided to keep the same music. The song is called Floating Also. It's from the YouTube audio library. I think it's become somewhat synonymous with my channel and my intro, so I decided to keep it because people generally like it. Okay, so the final thing I want to do in today's video is something I'm going to call questions nobody asked. I originally wanted to do a Q&A, but I was going to put at the end of a few videos and post a few things in places saying, if you got any questions, send them in and I'll do a Q&A, but I just never got around to doing that. So here are a few random questions I came up with that I'm going to ask myself. They're things people probably are wondering, and so I'm going to sort of do it like a Q&A. So anyway, question number 1. What is something you want to improve about your channel? I'd say the biggest thing I want to improve about my channel is I wish I could have a more consistent upload schedule. Be new videos every Friday or whatever, but I just can't commit to that. I just sort of upload videos whenever I get around to finishing them, and I wish I could upload more often as well as more consistently. But YouTube is not my full-time job. It is sort of a hobby I do in my spare time. And it just depends on how much spare time I have, and as well as just generally how motivated I am. I do wish I could be a bit more consistent with my video uploads, but that's just the way it is. Why is Commodore 64 your favorite computer? Well, I guess my favorite computer, and a lot of people's favorite computer, because, well, it's capable enough to do some cool things, but yet it's simple and low spec enough to sort of be interesting and challenging to program on, and to sort of be like a fun challenge. So, it's capable enough to do some cool things, but it's limited enough to be sort of a fun challenge, and sort of the appeal of retro computing is just sort of working within certain limitations and sort of embracing the computer's limitations. I think the Commodore 64 is the perfect balance between powerful and limited. Third question is, do you have any goals for this channel? And the biggest one right now is I want to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I'm definitely on track for that. And thank you very much to the 635 people who are currently subscribed. I never thought I'd get this far. Fourth question is, what piece of computer hardware would you consider like the holy grail for your collection? And that would probably be like a Commodore PET. I would say something like an Apple I or a Kim 1, but that's just, too rare and too hard to find and too expensive. Whereas a Commodore PET, they're kind of rare and expensive, but they're not completely unobtainable, and I wouldn't feel bad owning one. If I were to have something like a Kim 1 or an Apple I, I wouldn't really even want to own something that rare or expensive. Whereas a Commodore PET, something I really want, and something really unique. It's a cool conversation piece, but it's not like so extremely rare and expensive. What was something that was awkward when you started a YouTube channel? That would definitely be talking into the microphone and sort of like talking to the camera and microphone as if somebody was there, even though you're alone. It often seems kind of weird making videos to sort of have to talk into the microphone as if you're talking to somebody, even though there's nobody there, but you have to sort of imagine that you're talking to somebody. That's something I feel I've gotten better at. What is my favorite programming language? My favorite programming language definitely has to be BASIC, mainly because it's just convenient and it's very heavily associated with my favorite era of computers, that being the late 70s and early 80s. I just think it's cool. What is my favorite color? My favorite color is blue, and no relation to the Commodore 64 default screen colors. Blue is my favorite color before I even knew what the Commodore 64 was, but definitely the blue screen on the Commodore 64 really makes me like blue even more. Maybe that's just what drew me to the C64 and makes me like the C64 so much. But anyway, those are just some of the random questions that I came up with. And yeah, that wraps up our BTM 86 2-year anniversary special thing. And yeah, thank you so much for everybody who supported and subscribed to my channel and leaves nice comments and likes my videos and stuff. Thank you very much. It's very much appreciated. I never thought I'd get so far or even still be doing this in 2 years. So yeah, thank you so much. So as always, thanks for watching and have a great day.